Top 20 Farm Worker Interview Questions and Answers. Who is a farm worker? This is an individual who is employed for labor in agriculture. Here are the top 20 interview questions and answers you are likely to be asked. Also, there are sample answers that will guide you on how you are supposed to answer the questions. 1. Why are you interested in this role? Most of the interviewers will ask you this question to help them know why you need the post. Talk about putting your knowledge and skills into practice and learning from them. Sample answer. After I learned that you were recruiting, I had to apply for this post to put the knowledge and skills I have attained from my studies and experience into work. I would be delighted to see my skills and knowledge being used to help others. In addition, I have had an interest in agriculture since I was a kid. Working in this post will be an achievement for me, since it is something that comes from my heart. It will be a great achievement to work for you and at the same time improve my skills and learn from you as well. Also, I would not hesitate to say that I want to get a job so that I can earn a living and help my family pay bills. 2. What are the roles of a farm worker? Here, your interviewer wants to know whether you know what you are expected to do as a farm worker. Tell them the duties and responsibilities that a farm worker should have. Mention the significant roles only. Sample answer. As a farm worker, I am expected to plant, fertilize, cultivate, spray, irrigate, and harvest crops, feed and tend livestock and poultry, milk cows, perform or assist in performing breeding activities of farm animals, operate and maintain farm machinery and equipment, follow food safety and security and animal biosecurity procedures, detect disease and health problems in crops, livestock, and poultry, examine produce for quality and prepare for market, set and monitor water lines, airflow and temperature in barns, pens, and chicken coops. Maintain or assist in the maintenance of facilities and farm infrastructure including cleaning stables, barns, barnyards, and pens. I believe that I am 100% fit to perform the mentioned tasks with a high level of professionalism. 3. What are the qualities that a farm worker needs to be successful? The interviewer wants to know what qualities and skills you have to possess to succeed in this role. Talk about the qualities that you think can make you succeed in this post. Sample answer. Besides having the academic qualifications in agriculture, I believe that it requires a candidate with certain qualities that will make the farm worker work successfully. First, a farm worker should be energetic since the work that is done in this sector requires energy. One should also be able to multitask since there are a lot of different activities that need to be performed at a time. A farm worker should also be friendly to the environment and ensure that livestock is living in a very clean environment. I believe those are my qualities, and I would love to use them to better your farm. 4. What major challenges did you face during your last role? How did you manage them? The interviewer wants to know the difficulties you have come across in this industry. Talk about the challenges you have faced in your previous role and how you managed them. Sample answer. The first challenge that I faced in my previous role is hazardous conditions, which are routine and include pesticide exposure, heat stress, lack of shade, and adequate clean drinking water. Especially when spraying pesticides to control pests, some of the pesticides may be very harmful to our health. I have experienced this and many farm workers are experiencing it as well. All I had to do in my previous experiences is use maximum protective gears to avoid inhaling these chemicals. They can harm one's health especially if they don't have the personal protective gears. 5. Describe your daily routine as a farm worker. The interviewer wants to know what order you should follow while performing your duties. Give them a very organized schedule, starting from the first activity till the last. Sample answer. As a farm worker, waking up early is very essential, since you need to cover some amount of work before the sun gets too hot. All I have to do is first, take a walk to the garden and see whether everything is in place. After that, then I would call in my team and ensure that we are on our personal protective gears and head to the farm to do our daily duties. This would be planting, harvesting, spraying pesticides, weeding, and getting involved in several activities on the farm. After that, we would check and evaluate performance for that day and then rest for the rest of the day. This would be a very busy day at work. 6. Describe briefly about your experience. Here, the interviewer wants you to discuss where and how long you have worked as a farm worker. Talk about where you have worked before and the number of years you have worked in this role. Sample answer. After completing my studies, I started gaining skills in this field by working for my uncle's farm. Of course, this time I needed to earn a living and support my family. There, we used to plant, take care, weed, and take care of tomato farm, which was actually a large farm. Here, I gained a lot of experience in the agriculture sector, and I began growing interest in the field. Having worked on that farm for 2 years, I started working for another farm, where we would grow pineapples and mangoes. We would plant, harvest, and prepare the fruits for juice processing. Here, I gained a lot of experience and I worked for that farm for 4 years. I believe that I will gain more experience by working for your farm as well. 7. What kind of strategies and mindset is required for this role? The interviewer wants to know your attitudes towards this role and which strategies you can use to succeed. Talk about what attitudes a farm worker should have. Sample answer. It is always good for a farm worker to have a mindset of making the best quality from the soil. A farm worker should always focus on making sure that the farm is okay and all plants are free from any dangers. The same applies to livestock. They should ensure that all livestock are in good health and are feeding well. They should always think of helping, besides it being income generating. Keep a good heart and interest in nature. That's the most important thing in this role. It is not about how much you earn, it is about making the living things feel the way you feel. 8. What is the biggest challenge that you foresee in this role? When asked this question, talk about the big challenge that you think will affect this role in the future. Also, suggest possible solutions to the challenge if possible. Sample answer. As a farm worker, I must admit that there is a big challenge when it comes to outbreaks of diseases and pests. Some pests may be seasonal and they may come when the farmers did not expect them. Also, livestock may be attacked by diseases that are infectious and one can lose a lot of livestock due to outbreaks of diseases. This is a challenge that is likely to affect this industry in the future. All that should be done is massive vaccinations. 9. How do you stay motivated in your work? The interviewer wants to know what makes your morale high while working. It is essential to talk about achievements in your career as your biggest motivators. Sample answer. As a farm worker, I am always motivated to continue working in this field when I see crops and animals yielding the way they are expected to. This means that we are doing a great job to make sure that they are living well. Whenever I see this, I am always motivated to do it more and more. That's what gives me morale day by day. 10. Describe a time when you failed in this role and the lessons you learned. Your interviewer knows that you made a mistake and made you fail in your duties at some point. Talk about an event you felt you have failed and the lesson you learned from the incident. Sample answer. In my entry-level position at my previous job, I did not know how important it is to wear personal protective equipment while at work. One time, we had a spraying session against pests that were attacking our crops. After having 2 hours of spraying, I started feeling dizzy and nauseous. I had to seek medical assistance from specialists, who advised me on the importance of having the PPEs when doing that kind of task. 11. Why do you feel you are the most suited for this role? The interviewer wants to know why you think you are the candidate they are looking for. Talk about unique qualifications and experiences that can make you secure the position. Sample answer: I have a diploma in agricultural business. Having attained this diploma, I have enough knowledge on how to maintain farms and livestock. Also, I have gained a lot of work experience from my previous tasks. I have learned a lot in this field mostly through experience and learning from my colleagues. Having worked in this industry for 6 years makes me feel that I am the candidate you are looking for. It is my hope that you will consider my experience as an added advantage to me. 12. Share with us your greatest achievements. Your interviewer expects you to talk about the aims you have achieved in your career. Talk about the achievements, promotions, and awards that you have received in your career. Sample answer: in my previous role, I used to work with a lot of passion and that all the crops and livestock were living as they should. On that farm, the performance manager would evaluate every worker's performance and rate you out of 5 according to the services you offered and how you offered them. At the end of the year, I had the most positive ratings and was awarded as the year's staff. This award came along with a certificate and a gold medal that I am proud of. I believe that I will use the same strategies on your farm and gain more awards and promotions as well. 13. Mention ways to prevent buildup of pests or decrease their pest status. Here, the interviewer tests your knowledge of pest control. Mention the main ways in which you can prevent the building up of pests. Sample answer: when it comes to pest control, one can practice pest-resistant or highly competitive crop varieties, field sanitation, use of quality seeds, and seedbed sanitation, crop rotation, intercropping, management of sowing, planting, or harvesting dates, water irrigation management. These are the top ways in which you can manage and control pests in your farm. 14. What are the common features of ranching as a farming system? Here, the interviewer wants to know whether you know more about the ranching farming system. Sample answer: there are several features that define ranching as a farming system. These include: done in marginal areas with poor pasture. System is extensive. Extension services provided. Improved pastures. Selective livestock breeding. High-level livestock management. 15. Mention 6 agricultural practices that you know of. As a farm worker, you should be conversant with different practices in agriculture. Mention 6 of them. Sample answer: there are several activities that are involved in agricultural farming. These must include soil preparation. Before raising a crop, the soil in which it is to be grown is prepared by plowing, leveling, and manuring. Sowing, selection of seeds of good quality crop strains is the primary stage of sowing. Manuring, providing manure for your crops so that they can yield more. Irrigation, this is watering your plants. Weeding, this is doing away with unwanted plants. Harvesting, this is gathering your crops. Storage, this involves storing your crops in a safe way. 16. Give us 6 ways of controlling weeds in farm. The interviewer wants to test your knowledge of weed control methods. Talk about common ways in which you can control weed on a farm. Sample answer: mowing and cutting, weed pulling, stabbing, mulching, girdling, tilling. 17. What are the factors you should consider when choosing a farm? Your interviewer wants to know whether you know what you should look into when locating a good farm. Sample answer: type of enterprise itself, environmental factors, knowledge and skills of the farmer about the enterprise, available resources, example, labor and capital, cultural factors, social factors, governmental policy, type of market he is producing for. 18. Tell us the benefits of agriculture to the national development. Your interviewer wants to know whether you know How agriculture contributes to national development. Sample answer. The benefits of agriculture to national development are: food supply, source of raw materials for industries, employment opportunities, foreign exchange earnings, source of capital for development, market for industrial goods. 19. What should we expect from you in the first month working in our farm? The interviewer wants to know what you will offer them in the first month of working on their farm. Talk about learning, adapting, and testing your strategies in the first month. Sample answer. In my first month working in your farm, I will be mostly testing my strategies, learning from the farm, as far as guidelines of duties are concerned, and adapting to the new system. In the same month, I will also be fixing my schedule, to see how and when is the right time to perform a certain task. Lastly, expect maximum cooperation and quality work from me. 20. What would be your biggest fear in this role? The interviewer wants to know what you would not like to face in this role. You can talk about something that bores or puts you off in your career. Sample answer. I would say that producing poor results as a farm worker would be my biggest fear. I must put effort to produce more yield so that I can avoid failure. Conclusion. A farm worker needs to be a very hardworking person, answer the questions with a lot of confidence, and get straight to the point with few but clear explanations. The above guidelines will help you answer the questions and secure the job post. All the best.